Well, it's been, I don't know, like 3 weeks, I think, since I actually sent this transmission out. So, this is an A1 Stage 2 transmission from A1 out of Flowery Branch, Georgia. And so, this crate is the crate that I made, but anyway, sent it down there and then they just pull it out, rebuild it, and send it back. So I'm going to try and get it out and see what we're looking at. But so far, so good. Looks good. I have no idea how it'll run. I assume well. So we'll go from there. Here's what we're working with. Got it painted. Looks really nice. Got to figure out what those are for. Looks great. So it's got a 4x4 pan on it. Bunch of reworking on the inside that frankly I don't know anything about, and then a couple billet pieces. This is the Stage 2, so apparently able to handle 1500 horsepower. Not that that thing will ever make it there, but still nice to have some peace of mind. I think it was like a $500 upgrade between the Stage 1 and Stage 2, so you're not going to not do that. So anyway, looks good. So I'm going to see, I don't know if I'm feeling brave enough to transfer it to the jack, or if I'm just going to hang it for the night and do it again tomorrow. But at least we got it out of the package and check it out. So looks cool. Alright, so I did a little look in here, and I'm pretty sure of those 3 O-rings there, the black one goes right here. That's for the dipstick that goes like that. Whoa. So that goes into there, right there. Then the other 2 are just these 2 trans cooler lines right here and right there. And so normally on like a stock trans there'll be a line that goes from here to here, kind of goes up, I think, and then straight over, and that's the cooler bypass. So my understanding is that if say this transmission would chuck a bunch of metal or a metal piece or something, and it would get lodged in the line going to the cooler, well, it's actually the radiator and the cooler in stock configuration. say that would somehow get blocked, it has like a kind of like a pop-off valve that once it gets high enough pressure, it'll just run past and bypass. So yeah, that's what these are delete fittings for that. So now this will accept the standard flared fitting, and it's my understanding as well that those two green O-rings go down in there. So anyway, I'm gonna try that out, see how it goes. I'm not positive, but I think that's how this goes. So anyway, all right, well, with some awfully creative fabrication and always the finest safety equipment, steel toe shoes, we got this sucker up. So I just took actually one of the boards from the pallet or the crate and just quick drilled some holes to make that plate a little bigger, and back in there you can see the carriage bolt that holds it on there, and then I just shoved this piece of wood just in there to kind of support it, so it kind of has at least it can't slide off, I don't think, because taking it down seemed a lot easier than putting it back up for whatever reason. So you know, leave myself a little gap here. Pretty much the first ones I'm going to go for are these right here. These are the dowel pins. That's the one right there, and then where the converter strap is in. So I'm going to take that strap out. You can see with the door frame, see how I have it like tilted back a little bit, because obviously I don't want my brand new converter to fall out. So I'll probably take that strap out damn near last thing. And yeah, upon some further research, I nipped them off there, but those O-rings, it looks like there's one in here already. It's kind of what it feels like too. So anyway, I'm gonna try it. Honestly, if it doesn't, if it spews out, well, then I know I'm missing an O-ring. So that's what we're gonna rock with, and then that one already went on the black one already went on the dipstick, so we're good there. So anyway, we'll see what we can get going here. I stopped filming because putting in these bell housing bolts is just, it's just a game. Honestly, you just really gotta go back and forth and back and forth. And so I'll tell you what I did. You don't have to do it this way, and I may not even recommend doing it this way, but basically I got it up on this, up on the trans jack, got it up in a position, and then, let me back up. There's a bolt that tucks behind here. It goes like right in there, and you can see where it goes into here. Those are the ones for the dowel pins, so you'll know because the trans has a bigger hole, and then there's the dowel pin will usually end up, as far as I know, getting stuck in the engine. Or not stuck, but leaving the engine. So anyway, I lifted it up, started that bolt, and that bolt's the longer bolt. That's how you know where they go. There's only 2 of them. They're the 2 longest ones. That's how you do it. Started that bolt. Then I came and lifted, just barely started it, and you don't want to tighten on it, because what you'll do is you'll put like pressure on the front of the converter. So you don't want to do that. So I just barely get it threaded, get it started so it locates, and then I came over here to this guy, and I ended up starting him as well, which he is not a dowel pin. The other dowel one is up top. It's like right where my middle finger is there. So that was the one I was trying to get to, but it just wasn't working out with what I had. So I ended up starting this guy, and again, barely snug, like just drawing the transmission forward, right? While I was doing that, every, I'd say 1/8 of an inch of draw, I'd come up front here and get on, shaky footage here, get on the crank pulley. And I would take the 1/2 inch drive socket and rotate the engine as I see it clockwise here. So tightening this bolt, essentially, that's on the crank. And so I'd tighten that, and you can hear the studs on the torque converter kind of rubbing against the back side of the flywheel. And what that is right here, you can see those blue studs poking through. Those weren't poking through. They were actually riding on the back of that little channel right there. And so they'd ride around, and you can see the tips of them, how they're just barely worn off. That's what I was doing. That was like kind of rubbing around and kind of scraping around, not hard, not tight, but just enough that I could hear it, kind of like, scraping across it. And all of a sudden, thump, they like pop right in, or at least one of them would get so you could see it. And then you can start the jostling motion of trying to like kind of wiggle its way on there. And then once those start protruding through, then you can start bringing this gap closed between the engine and the transmission, but not until those are showing out through the flywheel, or at least poking, or at least aligned. You know what I mean? You want those to be straight, because that means it's all centered up and riding straight. So anyway, it's just kind of a, definitely do not want to force it. Don't want to get it tight at all until you know it's going right, and then you really should never have to like force it. You know what I mean? This thing should basically go together. With those dowel pins the way they are, or like they're not dowel pins, but they're like a sleeve, that lines this baby up right. So there is really no room for negotiation as far as like being kind of right. It is either right or it's wrong. So anyway, I got these all run in and snugged up, looking sweet. So next thing is going to be these cooler lines, which one goes there and the other one goes way back there. That's this guy. So I'll do that. I have the shifter needs to go on. I have about 100 electric connections on top or on the side of it, all these various plugs. So I'm going to do that. And then also on the back here, on that stud right there, this little bracket right here with that hole goes onto that bracket. So you'll want to hook up your speed sensors and everything else while you're doing this. So now while the tail shaft, the tail section of the the transmission is sagging right now. It's like hanging down. Now, if I would wait to do all those connections till after this transmission cross member is in, that would become a way bigger pain in the ass. So anyway, that's what we got going on. I'm super stoked to have it in. This thing is sweet. Like I said, I'm going all off of looks right here, and frankly, what I've seen some of these units do online, they're supposed to be real bad. So I'm excited to make some tire smoke.